Hey guys, today we have the keys to this Audi R8 V10 featuring the 1016 Industries carbon fiber kit. So this started life as a regular R8 V10, the non-plus version. You can see it's all stickered up. It ran Goldrush Rally this year. We have Grumpy Cat up front, and it's got the 1016 carbon kit. So that includes entire carbon front hood. You've got these fender vents, this really aggressive front splitter. Around the side, we have got carbon fiber side skirts. And then around back, we have this really cool carbon fiber diffuser and this really big carbon wing, which is actually modeled off the rear wing from a Huracan Performante, the Lamborghini. So it's got the same angle of attack, the same functionality. It looks really cool. Whole car is lowered. It's on Anarchy wheels. It's got this camo wrap. It ran Goldrush Rally. I mean, it's a really cool way that this company, 1016, took a regular non-plus base R8, made it more aggressive. It looks really awesome. We're gonna hop in the car today, drive it, see how it compares to a base non-modified R8 V10 and how it compares to an R8 V10 Plus. So we'll hop in the car and see how it's like. Well, this R8 certainly sounds really good. Not only does it look good, it's also a little bit quicker than stock too. It has a tune from VF Engineering. It's still an NA 5.2 liter V10. So as I said earlier when we were outside the car, it's kind of the way you approach this car is you take the most affordable of this generation, the second generation R8 V10, and you kind of do it your own way. You don't spend the money on the Plus. The Plus is right around $27,000 more base price to base price compared to the non-Plus version. For that, you get 610 horsepower versus 540. You do get carbon ceramic brakes, which account for a big part of that price delta. And then a couple weird things. You actually get magnetic ride on this car, but on the Plus, in America, you cannot have magnetic ride suspension. The other big thing that you really can't change away from is going to be the gearing. The transmission is geared differently. It's a lot taller, less aggressive on the non-Plus version. I have noticed that significantly. I did a track day in a non-Plus R8 V10 and I just did not enjoy it as much. It just did not feel geared properly for the track. That's not to say it's still not the same brilliant dual clutch transmission. It rips off flawlessly fast shift. You just heard that upshifts, downshifts very quickly. And I am going to miss the day when large, high-revving, naturally aspirated V10s go away. This thing still sounds so good, such a linear amount of power. So stock, it's 540 horsepower and I believe 398 pound-feet of torque, which in the world of six-figure supercars is actually not that much anymore. A McLaren 570S will be faster than this. Honestly, a tuned first-gen R8 V10 like the one I had technically made more horsepower than this car does without the tune. So let's talk about more specifically how this feels driving a modified one. Well, it just looks really cool. You can see the gigantic wing in your rear view mirror. You see that big Performante style rear view mirror. It's a lot louder. It's got the 1016 exhaust on it, so it wakes it up. It sounds almost louder than a regular R8 V10 Plus, I think. And it also is a little bit quicker. I will say I think I'm spoiled because I just hopped out of a McLaren 650S and that definitely felt faster than this car did. But I think the gearing also has a factor there. I kind of showed you guys and talked about what the kit contained in terms of how it looks. I think this generation R8, and I've driven a couple of these now, still looks amazing. It's sharper. I almost might start liking it more than the first gen one. It just looks so much more modern. Some people weren't a huge fan of how sharp and angular it got. I like it a lot. I honestly don't love the mid-cycle refresh on this R8, the one they just came out with, like the Decennium Special Edition. I think that one started to merge a little bit too much towards the Lamborghini side of things. But with this 1016 kit, you've got the huge wing, you've got the really cool diffuser, the front splitter, and the skirts. It all comes together and adds together to be like OEM plus. It doesn't look tacked on. It's all integrated very well. I've seen the work that 1016 has done. I've seen the CAD drawings, the modeling they do to make sure everything works well. When they take the cars apart, they scan them properly before installation. I've known Peter, the owner of 1016, for many, many years, and we've talked a lot about the products he's done. So it's really cool to finally get to drive a car with the full kit on it, experience what it's like. Now, comparing this to a regular V10, I think this is really, really appealing because the regular one was more almost GT, comfort, daily driver exotic car. It was fast and everything, but it wasn't like supercar levels of performance or honestly supercar levels of appearance either. It was a clean, classy sports car. This, with the gigantic wing, all the carbon fiber, the louder exhaust, comes together to make this equivalently as exotic and cool as an R8 V10 Plus from the factory. So you approach it from one of two ways. You could spend that extra money at your Audi dealer and get the Audi or engineered, designed everything, a little more horsepower, this and that, or you go aftermarket, you save your money and you do it how you want to do it. You can pick and choose whether you want the front lip or the hood, or I mean, you don't get the hood on a regular factory R8 V10 Plus, the bigger wing out back. You can pick your own exhaust, you do your wheels as it's lowered. Overall, I think as an enthusiast, I almost might pick this one. Unless I were to track the car. I'll be 100% honest, if I was taking this car to the racetrack, I would go for the carbon ceramic brakes, the factory tuned suspension, all of that stuff, because it's hard to beat OEM engineering of the vehicle as a whole. But if your goal is to have a really cool exotic, to take on rallies like Peter took this R8 on Goldrush Rally, this is gonna be the way to go, because you'll save all your money. On the inside, this is still the same as all the other Audi R8 V10s out there of this generation, and that means it's very, very nice. You have the virtual cockpit, giant screen in the middle. I really like the steering wheel, the nice buttons on here. It's really clean. You don't have a screen in the middle anymore. Because of the screen in the middle, this is just your climate controls. It feels pretty spacious. I can fit in it comfortably. The Huracan, the sister car to the R8 V10, I don't fit as well in it. It's a bit lower. When I put a racing helmet on, I literally couldn't keep my head up straight. The roof was bending my spine. But this generation R8 is one of the cleanest, most well executed, in my opinion, in this segment. I would literally not complain about taking this on a long road trip. You could daily drive this supercar. And again, I've kind of talked about it a little, but we'll circle back to how it is to drive on the street. The gearing makes it more friendly for cruising along the road. It's geared taller. In stock form, it's a little bit quieter than the R8 V10 Plus. It's less harsh. It's more compliant with the magnetic ride suspension. Peter's kind of thrown it out the window by turning this into a little more extreme, by modifying it every way you want. And that's what you can do and save your money, like I mentioned earlier. There may be faster cars out there, but this is one of the better looking ones out there, and definitely one of the better sounding ones out there. I really, really do like this generation of R8 V10. My only complaint has been it's so good at everything it does. It looks good, it sounds good, it drives well, it's got a good interior, it's executed well, it has good quality materials and build. There's something about it that never excited me enough. I wasn't like, oh my God, I really want to own one. It's like the logical choice, not the emotional choice. But the way this one has been modified with all the carbon fiber on every surface, the really aggressive hood, I love the fender vents, the diffuser and the big wing. It kind of made it a little more exotic. It excites me a little bit more. Combined with the tune and the exhaust, I think I might actually really want to buy one of these now. It's interesting because up to this point, I was like, what would I want to buy as a supercar when I can afford one? I can't really afford a 458 Spider, a 488, 720S. That's out of the realm for me right now. Huracans, I like the cars a lot, but I don't think I'd want to own one. The R8 V10, I had an R8 before. I love the Audi brand. I like their cars. But I wasn't like, that's it, that's the one I want to buy. I was like, oh, maybe it could be a good option. But with this kit out there, I remember when Peter first launched, I'm like, whoa, that looks really cool. I need to see that in person, and eventually that might make me want to get a car that could have put the kit on it. And there's very few kits out there and companies. I've noticed some things before. I remember when I saw the inlays diffuser for the Audi S4, I'm like, hey, I want an Audi S4 so I can put that on the car someday. Or you see set of wheels, you're like, oh, I want that car that I can put those wheels on. It's an interesting thing to do. Usually you do the other way around. You buy the car, then you figure out what you want to put on it. But I honestly don't know what I can complain about this car. It's got 18,600 miles, which is pretty high for an exotic. I mean, it's been across the country on a rally. So there are a few little squeaks and rattles on it. This is a development car, so it probably was taken apart a couple times for scanning and things like that. But it still feels pretty solid. It still performs strongly. It pulls hard. It makes all the right noises. It looks awesome. It sounds awesome. What more do you want your supercar to do? So this was the 1016 Industries R8 V10. I think it has convinced me that buying the non-Plus could be okay. If this kit did not exist, I would be like, oh, heck yeah, you have to buy the Plus because it's faster, it sounds better, and it looks better. Now you could save your money, and if it's going to be your daily driver and you're not going to track it, it's been an exotic car that you can cruise around on and be a little more comfortable, and the gearing's a little more friendly, get one of these. Magnetic ride, throw the carbon fiber on it, it looks awesome. It'll fit in everywhere that's filled with exotics. Good car to go with. Hope you guys like this video. We're gonna get in the car together. We'll talk about what they did to the vehicle, some of the other products that 1016 does. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thanks for watching.